is the actual difference between believing something to be true and actually knowing it? I mean, it sounds simple, right? But this question gets right to the heart of a massive paradox we currently face. We live in what we all call the information age. We literally have the sum total of human data right in our pockets. But having access to endless data doesn't necessarily mean we possess true knowledge.
The source material we're exploring today refers to this exact problem as the information age paradox. Our modern world is just overflowing with information, which the text refers to as data from the matrix. Think about your average doom-scrolling session on a smartphone. You are absorbing a staggering amount of data, but let's be honest, zero actual wisdom. True knowledge, often referred to as Gnosis, encompasses the technical laws of nature, biology, and geometry. And according to this framework, this profound level of knowledge has historically been obscured or hidden away to keep the general public in a state of manageable compliance.
All right, moving right into Section 1, demystifying the word occult.
So, to really understand how this knowledge has been kept from us, we've got to tackle a word that usually makes people think of spooky movies and dark robes: occult. But look, if we break down the etymology objectively, the word occult simply means to hide. That's it, the whole shebang. For example, in astronomy, when a cloud passes in front of the sun, it's said to be occulting the sun. It literally just means something is obstructed from view. There is absolutely nothing inherently evil about the word itself.
And this brings us to a really brilliant realization. As the text states, hidden knowledge is not evil, it is simply high-voltage logic. Think about a high-voltage power box in your neighborhood. We lock those up not because electricity is evil, but because it's incredibly powerful, and if you don't know how to handle it, you could seriously get hurt. Historically, this highly technical data regarding how reality works was kept in mystery schools because it was deemed just too powerful for the untrained person. Today, however, it isn't hidden in temples, it's hidden in plain sight, completely obscured by modern distractions and social ridicule.
Section 2. The 3 layers of knowledge. Let's move to and see how this builds. Think of human understanding like a giant iceberg. We process information in layers, moving from the visible surface all the way down to the absolute invisible core. The framework outlines 3 distinct layers of knowledge: the exoteric, the esoteric, and the Gnostic. Let's break down exactly what each of these vital stages represents. So, the first layer is the exoteric, or the outer layer. This is the visible tip of the iceberg. It consists of the surface-level stories, traditional religions, and the standard science taught in everyday schools. According to the source material, this layer serves as a moral framework. It provides a warm, comforting blanket of structure for the general, or what it calls the mundane population, to live peacefully within society.
But when we dive beneath the surface, we hit the second layer, the esoteric, or the inner layer. This is the hidden meaning behind those surface-level stories. If the exoteric is the myth, the esoteric is the math of the myth. This is where you find the actual universal laws, the sacred geometry, and the gematria, the practice of assigning numerical value to words, that have been meticulously encoded and hidden behind the exoteric parables and stories throughout history.
And finally, down at the very deepest level, we have the Gnostic layer. Gnosis isn't just about reading and analyzing esoteric data. Actually, scratch that. It's not about just studying it at all. Gnosis is reached when you stop just studying the information and you actually begin living it. It's hidden knowledge in action, deeply integrated into your own biology and your daily reality. It is profound, lived experience.
A core piece of this Gnostic realization revolves around the number 7, specifically the 7 universal laws, things like the law of mentalism or the law of vibration. The framework suggests that those who truly understand and integrate these 7 laws become sovereigns. These are individuals capable of manifesting and architecting their own reality. Conversely, those who don't know the laws remain what the text calls reactors, basically managed and directed by external forces, fear, and a mindset of lack.
Okay, Section 3, Religion versus Spiritual Awakening. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the stark contrast in the end goals of each path. Religion's primary function, historically speaking, is governance. It provides a strict set of rules and dogmas to manage the behavior of the masses. It basically tells you exactly what to do. Awakening, on the other hand, is entirely about sovereignty. It provides you with the technical data of reality, those universal laws we talked about, empowering you to self-govern and decide your own actions.
Next, we look at where authority actually comes from. In a traditional religious framework, authority is external. It posits a separate figure, like a prophet or a god completely outside of yourself, to whom you must constantly appeal for help and guidance. Awakening represents a massive shift to internal authority. It's the profound realization that the I am consciousness within you is connected to and is the very source of your reality.
The methodology here differs vastly as well. Religion heavily requires faith in historical stories that often can't be technically proven, sometimes utilizing the fear of judgment to maintain adherence. Awakening, it relies purely on logic and biological proof. You don't need blind faith to believe in something like the law of vibration, right? You can physically observe it in the biological proof of every single vibrating atom in the universe.
Ultimately, it comes down to the result. Religion provides comfort and community. As the text beautifully puts it, it acts as a warm blanket in a cold matrix for the separate self. Awakening strips that blanket away, and yeah, it might be challenging at first, but it provides ultimate freedom and power to the sovereign self, allowing you to build your own masterpiece.
Which brings us to Section 4, the Dogma Audit.
So how do we actually apply this? I want you to actively participate with me right now in this dogma audit. Here's how you run it. First, think of a rule you currently follow. For example, I must be a good person to go to heaven. Step 2, strip away all the religious language. Step 3, try to find the technical, universal law hidden behind that rule. So, good behavior gets you to heaven transforms into the technical law of heart resonance equals positive reflection. And finally, step 4, notice the sense of grown-up power that comes with this shift. You are no longer acting out of fear of a separate judge, you are operating the machinery of reality, logically.
Section 5. Reclaiming your internal sovereignty. So, the crucial point is, by running this audit, we naturally move toward reclaiming internal sovereignty, graduating from a childlike reliance on external rules to a fully adult-like independence. It's about graduating from the audience to become the architect. Moving from believing to knowing, from faith to logic, does not mean you're abandoning the divine. No way. It means you are finally stepping up to meet the divine intelligence that has been waiting within your own biology and consciousness this entire time.
And as we wrap up this explainer, I want to make sure you know exactly where this phenomenal framework comes from. As a technical manual for your soul offering the keys to unocculting reality, this information can be found and is no longer bound at Revival of Wisdom.